Today, we're going to talk about something you use literally every single day, but probably never really think about: encryption. It's the silent guardian of our digital world, basically your own personal bodyguard online. So let's dive in.
You see this little padlock icon dozens of times a day when you're browsing the web, right? It's there to make you feel safe. But have you ever stopped to wonder what it's actually doing? Like what's happening under the hood to keep your stuff safe? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
And trust me, the stakes could not be higher. Just look at this number for a second. $4.45 million. According to a 2023 report from IBM, that's the average cost of a single data breach. This is why digital protection isn't just some nice little feature anymore. It's an absolute must-have.
So let's properly meet our protector. We're calling this first part your digital bodyguard, because honestly, that's the perfect way to think about it. It's this invisible shield that stands between your private information and, well, anyone who shouldn't see it. So what is encryption, really? At its core, it's a pretty simple idea. It's just the process of taking normal readable information, we call that plain text, and scrambling it up into a completely unreadable mess, which we call ciphertext. It's like turning a clear sentence into total gibberish that only someone with a secret key can unscramble. Now, you might be thinking this is all modern, high-tech computer stuff, but not even close. The urge to keep secrets is basically as old as civilization itself. And to really get what's happening today, we got to take a trip back in time and uncover the secrets of ancient ciphers. Seriously, this is not a new concept. If you go back almost 4,000 years, Egyptians were using weird, non-standard hieroglyphs to hide special knowledge. By 1500 BCE, Mesopotamians were encoding recipes for valuable pottery. Fast forward to Greece and Rome, and you've got military-grade tools like the cytile and, of course, the legendary Caesar cipher. This game of making and breaking codes is ancient. And check these out, two incredible examples. On the left, you've got those altered Egyptian hieroglyphs used to keep sacred knowledge secret. And on the right, that's a Mesopotamian cuneiform tablet. Some clever scribe intentionally mixed up the symbols to protect a valuable recipe. You could argue this is the world's first ever case of protecting a trade secret. So how did one of these early codes actually work? Let's take the Caesar cipher. It was beautifully simple. You start with your message, your plaintext, say hello. Then you apply the key, which for Caesar was just shift every letter forward by 3. And boom, you get this unreadable ciphertext, KHOOR. Super simple, but it gives us the 3 key ingredients we still use today: plain text, a key, and ciphertext. Okay, so a shift by 3 key is pretty easy to break, but modern keys, they are, let's just say, a little more complex. And that brings us to the mind-bending idea of the unbreakable key. A great way to wrap your head around this is to think of a combination lock. The lock itself is the scrambling method, the cipher. But the real security, the thing that actually keeps people out, is the key, the combination. And modern digital keys have a lot of possible combinations. So just how many are we talking about? Well, a pretty small 64-bit key has this many possibilities. 18 quintillion. That's an 18 with 18 zeros tacked on the end. It's a number that's almost impossible for our brains to even process. To try and put that in perspective for you, that number is more than twice the estimated number of grains of sand on the entire planet. So trying to guess that key isn't just hard, it's just not going to happen. But wait, we are just getting warmed up. A standard 128-bit key, something that's super common today, has this many combinations. 340 undecillion. That's 340 with 36 zeros after it. The scale here is just staggering. That number is 340 times trillion times larger than all the known stars in the observable universe. And that's the whole point. Modern encryption isn't secure because the method is a secret. It's secure because of pure, overwhelming mathematical improbability. It is simply unbreakable by brute force. Okay, so we've got these ridiculously powerful keys, but how do we actually use them? Well, this brings us to the 2 main families of modern encryption, and it all boils down to a simple question. Do we use 1 key or 2? So here's the fundamental difference. Symmetric encryption is straightforward. There's one single shared key that both locks and unlocks the data. It's like a house key you give to a friend. Asymmetric is a bit more clever. It uses 2 keys, a public key that acts like a mail slot on a mailbox,
Anyone can use it to drop a message in, but only you have the private key to actually open the box and read it. So why would you pick one over the other? Well, it's all about trade-offs. Symmetric is way faster, which makes it perfect for encrypting huge files. But its biggest weakness is key management. I mean, how do you get that secret key to your friends securely in the first place? Asymmetric is slower, but it solves that problem perfectly. You can shout your public key from the rooftops, and it doesn't matter, because only you have the private key to decrypt what people send you. This makes it amazing for things like secure chats and digital signatures.
Now, I know this might still feel a bit abstract, but the truth is, you are using both of these systems constantly, every single day. So let's take a look at encryption all around you. Every single time you see that HTTPS padlock on a website, that's a clever hybrid system using both types. When you're sending a message on an app like WhatsApp, that's end-to-end encryption. Your online banking, when you buy something online, even digital signatures on documents, all of it relies on these incredible tools working silently in the background for you.
You know, I absolutely love this analogy for understanding digital signatures. Think of it like a personal wax seal on an old-fashioned letter. That seal does two things. One, it proves who the sender is, and two, it proves the letter hasn't been opened and messed with. A digital signature does the exact same thing, but for the digital world.
So how do you make this digital seal? It's a really neat process. First, the software creates a totally unique digital fingerprint of the document, which is called a hash. If you change even a single comma in the document, that fingerprint changes completely. Second, that unique hash gets encrypted using the sender's private key. That's the magic step. This little encrypted bundle is the digital signature, and it gets attached to the document.
And checking it is just as elegant. The person who receives the document uses the sender's public key to decrypt the signature, which shows them the original hash. At the exact same time, their own software creates a brand new hash from the document they just received. If those two hashes are a perfect match, then you know for sure who sent it and that not a single thing has been changed. The seal is intact. For decades, this whole system has been the bedrock of our digital security. But there's a pretty big storm brewing on the horizon, and that brings us to our final section, the quantum challenge. The incredible processing power of future quantum computers threatens to shatter many of the encryption methods we count on today, forcing a brand new chapter in this ancient game. And so we end up right back where we started. This has always been a timeless battle, an arms race between the code makers and the code breakers, stretching all the way from ancient hieroglyphs to today's digital world. As we look ahead to the quantum era, the question is the same as it's always been. Who's going to win the next round? Thanks for tuning in.